Today we are going to be solving two-step inequalities. So these problems are just like one step, but there's two steps we have to do before we can go on and graph the inequality. So let's look at the first problem. 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 17. To get x by itself, we have a loose number of 2. So we got to get rid of the 2. So we have to subtract 2 on both sides. So 17 minus 2, where we subtract 2 both sides, it cancels out here. And then 17 minus 2 is 15. Then we bring down our 5x. Now we're at a one step. So we have 5x is less than or equal to 15. How do we get x by itself? We have 5 times x. Opposite is dividing both sides by 5. This should say 5. If we divide both sides by 5, it cancels out here. And 15 divided by 5 is 3, which I goofed here. So this should be x is less than or equal to 3. So we need to graph 3. So we go over to 3, and it's going to be an open or closed circle. It's equal to, so it's a closed circle at 3. And then we are drawing our line to the left. Look at number 2. So 21 is less than or equal to 3 plus 9x. So our x is on the right-hand side here. Our loose number is 3, so we have to subtract 3 from both sides. So when we subtract 3 here, our 3's cancel out. So 21 minus 3 gives us 18. So now we have a 9x. So we have to divide both sides by 9. When we divide by 9, it cancels out our 9's. So then we have to do 18 divided by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Here we have to remember that order matters. So we cannot have our x on the right-hand side. It has to be on the left. So we have to reverse this. So our true equation that we have to graph is x is greater than or equal to 2. So this is the one we have to graph. So we're going to start at 2. It's going to be a closed circle at 2. And then we are graphing to the right. Okay, let's look at number 3. So we have 9 minus x is greater than 10. So our loose number here is 9. We got to get rid of 9. So we have to subtract 9 on both sides. So when we subtract 9, it cancels out here. So 10 minus 9 is 1. So we have negative x we bring down. Cannot forget that negative. So we have to get rid of that negative. This is thinking of negative x as the same thing as negative 1 times x. So negative 1 times x, we undo that. We're going to divide both sides by negative 1. We divide both sides by negative 1, it cancels out. And 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. We divided by a negative, so we cannot forget that that sign flips. So it was greater than, it becomes a less than. So it's very important to remember when you divide by negative, that sign flips. So let's go on and graph this one. We're going to start at -1, and it is an open circle. And then we are graphing it to the left. And there you go. Look at number 4. 27 is less than or equal to 7x plus 6. Our loose number here is 6. We gotta get rid of that and move it to the other side. So plus 6, so we're going to subtract 6 on both sides. When we subtract 6, our 6's cancels out here, so we have to do 27 minus 6. And 27 minus 6 gives us 21. We bring down our 7x in our symbol. Now we have 7x. How do we get rid of the 7? This is multiplication, so we have to divide both sides by 7. When we divide both sides by 7, our 7's cancel out, so 21 divided by 7 is 3. And then here, we have 3 is less than or equal to x. We cannot forget order matters. Very important. Order always matters. X has to come before the number. So we have to rearrange it. So we have x is greater than or equal to 3. So we will be graphing this one here. So we have to start at 3. And it's going to be a closed circle at 3. So this is equal to, and our arrow is pointing to the right. Okay, number 5. 2x minus 5 is greater than 1. What is our loose number here? Our loose number is -5. We have to do the opposite. So we have to add 5 to both sides. So if we add 5 to both sides, it cancels out here. So we get 2x. Oops, cancels out here. So we have to do 1 plus 5. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So we get 2x is greater than 6. Now we have to get x by itself. It's attached to the 2. So this is multiplication. To undo multiplication, we have to divide. We have to divide both sides by 2. When we divide both sides by 2, we get x here, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we have to graph x is greater than 3. So we go down to 3, and it is an open circle at 3, and we are graphing it to the right. Our last problem, number 6. -2x minus 3 is less than or equal to -5. Our loose number here is -3. We have to add 3 to both sides. When we add 3, it cancels out here, and then -5 plus 3, that is going to give us -2. So -2x is less than or equal to -2. We have to get x by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by -2. When we divide by that negative, we are canceling out the -2's here, and we're dividing here. When we divide, we cannot forget order matters. So we have, or when we divide by negative, our sign flips. So we have to flip our sign for our inequality. The -2 divided by -2 is +1, and our sign flips. So we have to graph x is greater than or equal to 1. So we go down and graph 1, and it is an equal to, so it is a solid circle, and we are graphing to the right. And that is how we solve two-step inequalities.